What if the emotions keeping you stuck aren't just feelings, but actual chemical addictions your body has been programmed to crave? In this video, I'm revealing the ancient alchemy that transmutes emotional lead into gold. The exact process that can help you break free from invisible patterns and manifest the realities you've been struggling to create. Stay until the end for the most powerful transmutation technique that works in just 90 seconds during triggering moments. Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that has literally transformed my life, emotional alchemy. This isn't just another mindset video. This is about the actual science of transforming the chemical signatures in your body that create your reality. Because let's get real for a second. How many times have you tried to manifest something? Abundance, love, opportunities, and despite doing all the right things, it just isn't happening. That's because there's a hidden factor that most manifestation teachers never address. Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking research reveals that emotions are not simply fleeting experiences, but literal chemical signatures coursing through your entire body. Each feeling you harbor, whether conscious or unconscious, releases a cascade of neuropeptides and hormones that lock you into specific energetic frequencies when they magnetize corresponding experiences into your reality. When Dr. Joe Dispenza conducted brain scans on individuals in various emotional states, he discovered something profound. Our brains cannot distinguish between an emotion created externally and one generated through focused intention. The neural pathways activated, the chemicals released, the electromagnetic fields generated, all are identical whether the emotion arises from present experience or conscious creation. As women, we've been conditioned into emotional contortion, taught to suppress our rage while amplifying our tenderness, to silence our boundaries while heightening our receptivity. This emotional programming runs deeper than conscious thought, embedded itself within the very architecture of our nervous systems. Jung would recognize this as shadow work required for individuation, reclaiming the disowned aspects of our emotional spectrum. Most women remain unconscious architects of their emotional landscape, perpetually reacting rather than creating. Like sleepwalkers trapped in a repetitive dream, they move through life wondering why the same patterns emerge in different costumes. The ambitious entrepreneur who can't break through her income ceiling, the visionary leader whose relationships crumble beneath the weight of her success, the intuitive healer who can manifest for others but remains blocked in her own abundance flow. Living predominantly in stress response emotions, anxiety, fear, unworthiness, and comparison, floods your system with cortisol, adrenaline, and inflammatory compounds that shrink the prefrontal cortex while expanding the reactive limbic system. This neurological configuration renders your biology incapable of sensing new possibilities, creating a reality tunnel that confirms your existing emotional patterns. So how do we break these emotional addictions? Through the 5-element transmutation system that I'm about to share with you. The first element is emotional archeology. The first step is that you need to identify what emotions are running on default in your system. You can begin with the emotional identifying meditation. Start with placing one hand on your heart and one on your solar plexus. Breathe deeply into these centers as you ask, what emotion lives most consistently in my body? Follow the sensations wherever it leads. Perhaps a heaviness in your chest, a constriction in your throat, a churning in your belly. This physical location reveals where emotional energy has crystallized into pattern. Dr. Dispenza's research shows that emotions we experience repeatedly create neural grooves that deepen with each activation, like water flowing down a mountainside, eventually carving canyons that automatically channel your energy. These dominant emotional pathways become your default responses to life regardless of present circumstances. Track your emotional states throughout 3 complete days, noting not just the obvious feelings, but the subtle undercurrents. Record what triggers specific emotions and how long they persist. This creates a map of your emotional terrain, revealing the shadowlands where your power awaits reclamation. Connect each persistent emotion to its originating belief and memory. When unworthiness surfaces, breathe into it and ask, when did I first feel this way? What conclusion did I draw about myself? Allow images, sensations, and memories to arise without judgment. Element 2, the second step is elemental dissolution. With your emotional archeology complete, you stand ready to dissolve the crystallized patterns that no longer serve your evolution. Each element offers a unique dissolution process for specific emotional energies. Water element dissolution, fear transmutation. Fear flows like trapped water in the body, creating stagnation and decay where life force should freely circulate. To dissolve fear through water element, submerge yourself in actual water. A bath, a shower, natural body of water. while visualizing the liquid dissolving the neural pathways of fear. Recite the mantra, I release the chemical addiction to fear. Each molecule dissolves, making space for courage to flow. This combination of physical sensation, visualization, and declaration creates new neural pathways while disrupting established ones. Earth element dissolution, shame transmutation. Shame burrows deep like roots into soil, anchoring your energy to past wounds. Earth element dissolution requires physical movement that disrupts these roots. Stomping your feet, shaking the body, connecting with actual earth. Place your bare feet on soil when declaring, I extract the roots of shame from my being. The earth reclaims and composts what no longer serves me. Visualize the shame as dark tendrils being pulled from your body, absorbed and transformed by the earth into nutrients for new growth. Fire element, resentment transmutation. Resentment smolders like burning coal in the energetic body, consuming life force while generating toxic smoke. Fire element dissolution harnesses controlled heat and light to transmute this energy. Using a candle flame as focus, project your resentment into the fire while breathing deeply. With each exhale, visualize the emotional charge burning away, leaving only the purified wisdom of the experience. Using the ancient practice of trataka, steady gazing, combine this with emotional projection, creating a profound neurological reorganization. The air element, unworthiness transmutation. Unworthiness creates density and compression in your energetic field, a heaviness that restricts expansion. Air element dissolution employs breath as the alchemy agent of transmutation. Practice the quantum breath. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 16 counts while visualizing unworthiness dissolving into light particles. Then exhale for 8 counts, releasing these particles completely from your field. This 4-16-8 pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system while creating space for new emotional programming. Ether element dissolution, comparison transmutation. Comparison creates energetic tethers to others, draining your unique creative frequency. Ether element works with sound vibration to sever these connections. Using your voice, tone the sound Om while visualizing comparison dissolving into the infinite space between molecules. The vibration of this primordial sound restructures water molecules within your cells, literally rearranging your physical matrix as demonstrated in Dr. Emoto's water crystal research. Element 3, the goddess archetype embodiment. Once you've dissolved limiting emotional patterns, the vacant neural real estate must be reprogrammed with elevated templates, or your brain will default to familiar chemical signatures. Goddess archetypes provide complete emotional blueprints for this reprogramming. You could use Kali embodiment. She is the fierce destroyer of illusion, embodies the emotional signature of fearless transformation. This is one way to invoke her template. It's important to feel the electricity of Kali's transformative power moving through your nervous system, rewiring neural pathways to recognize change not as a threat but as liberation. When regularly practiced, this embodiment begins dissolving the neurological resistance to transformation that keeps so many women trapped in comfortable limitation. Then you can try this next embodiment for abundance energy. She carries the emotional frequency of unconditional abundance, not just material wealth, but with overflowing fullness of existence itself. Again, it is very important to feel the expansive, generative emotion of having more than enough in every cell. This practice elevates serotonin and oxytocin levels while reducing cortisol, creating the neurochemical signature of prosperity consciousness. Here are a few other goddess ideas for you that you can use to create creative flow for protective boundary energy and pleasure and desire. Definitely look into a lot of different goddesses, archetypes, and their stories to see what everyone connects with you that you can use and try out for yourself. Element 4 is the quantum emotional field creation. This is where the magic really happens. Through heart-brain coherence, you generate new emotional signatures independent of circumstances. This coherence chamber practice forms the foundation of this work. This heart-brain coherence creates what HeartMath Institute research identifies as cardiac resonance, a state where heart rate variability synchronizes with breath, producing a measurable electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your physical body. Once coherence is established, introduce the emotional quality you wish to generate. Confidence, serenity, inspiration, power. Not as a concept, but as a felt sensation. Then ask yourself, how would my body feel if this emotion was my constant companion? What posture would I adopt? How would I breathe? What facial expression would I wear? To anchor these new states in daily life, create pattern interrupts throughout your day. Moments when you pause, breathe into your heart, and consciously generate your chosen emotional signature. You can set alarms on your phone, that's what I like to do, or you can use environmental triggers like walking through doorways, or create physical anchors like touching a specific piece of jewelry to remind you to return to coherence. The fifth element is emotional alchemy in relationship. Now for the technique I promised, the one that works in just 90 seconds during triggering moments. The ultimate test of emotional mastery comes in relationships, the crucible where unconscious patterns most readily emerge. Yet relationships also offer the most potent opportunity for accelerated transmutation. Imagine entering a meeting with someone who previously diminished your ideas. Without emotional mastery, your nervous system automatically floods with the same chemical signature of inadequacy you've experienced before. With mastery, you maintain your sovereign frequency regardless of their behavior. Next time someone triggers you, implement the 90-second reset. For deeper transmutation of relationship patterns, practice alchemic mirroring. When someone activates your emotional charge, ask yourself, what disowned aspect of myself is this person reflecting back to me? Carl Jung's concept of projection reveals that our strongest triggers point directly to our own shadow aspects awaiting integration. Through consistent application of these practices, relationships transform from emotional battlegrounds to sacred laboratories of mutual evolution. As you maintain sovereignty over your emotional field, you naturally magnetize connections that mirror your elevated frequency rather than triggering your wounds. Because remember, beautiful soul, you are both the scientist and the subject in this laboratory of consciousness. The ancient alchemists understood what quantum physicists now confirms. Consciousness shapes reality at its most fundamental level. By mastering the art of emotional transmutation, you become not just the scientist observing the experiment, you become the very field in which all possibilities exist. Your emotional signature broadcasts a specific frequency to the universe, magnetizing corresponding experiences with precision. Through these alchemic practices, you now possess the tools to consciously generate the emotional gold that will create your desired reality. If this resonated with you and you were looking for a community to get involved with, then you can definitely check out our Facebook group that is linked in the description box below. It is very new. I am trying to build it up, but it is definitely a space where you can share your wins or losses, look for support, and offer support to others. And I would love to hear what element you most need to work with right now: water, earth, air, fire, or ether. Until next time, may your cauldron always bubble with transformative potential, and may your inner gold illuminate the world.